we recorded like 3 songs.
So we actually recorded
Like 4 songs.
Man, roll the clip. To understand the Fat Joe and Biggie album, we have to cover a little bit of the Tupac and Biggie beef to understand the context. It's sometime in 1993 and Fat Joe meets Biggie at the Lyricist Lounge.
The first time I met Biggie, it was around that FloJo time, and there was a place called the Lyricist Lounge, and this is where rappers would go battle and all that. And I was going there to give the DJ my vinyl. I had just got the vinyl of FloJo, right? And Biggie came on stage with a backpack, and Puff was with him. And Puff was like, anybody want to battle my man right now? Anybody want to battle my man right now? And Biggie went up there and battled like 10 different dudes and crushed all 10 of them. Little white boys, anybody you could name, he was just killing them and this. And I was standing in the back, and I was like, yo, this nigga got a problem. He threatened everybody and was like, get on stage. Whoever wanted, and Puff was doing the Puff, without the Versace. Biggie just slayed like 10, 15 people that night. I never forgot that. And that's where we originally met. And then we kept in touch from there. And then
that same year, as fate would have it, Tupac and Biggie meet and become friends.
Scared to do some freestyle. Blow, I'm too high and I might go off tempo.
When I choke you stop breathing. When police come, I'm leaving. Peace and love.
It's November 30th, 1994, and the famous shooting at Quad Studios happens where Tupac held Biggie responsible.
On crime and violence this hour, the subject is Tupac Shakur, rapper, actor, court defendant, and now shooting victim. Shortly after midnight, 12:25 a.m. on Wednesday morning, Tupac Shakur was shot 5 times in the lobby of this Manhattan building right behind me. Police say it appeared to be a robbery attempt committed by 3 men as Tupac was on his way to a recording studio on the 8th floor of the Powers building. Shakur is reported in serious but stable condition at Bellevue Hospital and entered surgery at 10 a.m. Wednesday morning to check for internal bleeding. He was grazed by 2 shots to the head and wounded in the thigh, hand, and groin. Tupac's bodyguard, Fred Mord, also was shot in the incident. He's in stable condition at another hospital with a stomach wound. The gunmen, who remain at large, also made off with $40,000 worth of jewelry. Tupac Shakur is in stable but serious condition, and we'll keep you posted with details. That's the news for now. We'll have more news later right here on MTV.
It's February 21st, 1995, and Biggie releases the song Who Shot Ya, which was perceived as a Tupac diss by many.
Who shot ya? Separate the weak from the opsa. Leap hard to creep them Brooklyn streets. It's on, nigga. All that bickering beef. I can hear sweat trickling down your cheek. Your heartbeat sound like Sasquatch feet. Thundering, shaking the concrete. Then the shit stop when I fall the plot. Neighbors call the cops as they heard mad shots.
Biggie denied the song being a diss track and claimed it was recorded months before Tupac's shooting. The song would go on to gas up issues between the two friends. It's April of 1995, and Tupac does an interview with Vibe magazine where he talks about everything from the case to the shooting. Tupac was very paranoid at this time and adamant about getting his truth out in the event he were to die. In the interview, he talks about getting shot and taking the elevator up to the studio, and no one from Bad Boy would look at him or help him at all. Biggie would end up responding to this interview on MTV News.
The Tupac article had me pissed off, you know what I'm saying? And the rumors that's spreading is on some tip like we set him up, you know what I'm saying? And that's crazy. It's just ridiculous, you know what I'm saying? But I also understand that if you was to get shot 5 times, mine is just completely spinning, you know what I'm saying? You're real confused about your situation. So it'll cause me to say things that you really don't mean.
It's October 24th, 1995, and Fat Joe releases his sophomore album, Jealous One's Envy. This album saw a very noticeable elevation in Joe's rapping skills and saw the first appearance of Big Pun. It's March 26, 1996, and Busta Rhymes releases his album, The Coming. A song that didn't come out was called The Ugliest, featuring Biggie.
Diamonds on my neck, Chrome drop top, chilling on the scene, smoking pounds of green. Ooh wee, you see the ugliest, money hungriest, Brooklyn Loch Ness, 9mm cock test, one for test. And the winner is not that thinner kid, bandanas, tattoos, my fists never bruised, land still cruise. Frank White paid his dues. Ask who's the raw, bet they say Papa Berry. Look forward to me like commissary. All of a sudden, now everybody Big Willie done did it. Come with it, get your head split it, or get your neck slitted. Admit it, you overdid it, you shit it, just ain't got that loud. Go to shine like Tadao. Biggie Smalls illest and how phrase raise your eyebrow. By now you figure he talking about that nigga, but your weak ass assumptions lead the dumping, IV the pumping. You're feeling something. Catch my drift or catch my 4 feet. At least 6 inches above project fences. Turn meat to minces, jumps turn to flinches. When I rain out drenches, cleared your park benches, missed you by benches. Your talk is senseless. Actor needs chiropractor for crack jaw. Yes, I rocked your chatterbox. Dangerous you're not, I gets down. Twist your body round and round, upside down.
On an episode of All the Smoke podcast, Busta explained why he didn't put the song out in its original form.
I love these niggas, man. I got to be the mediator. I can't add fuel to this fire. I ain't put it out. So when Big passed, Pac passed, Diddy working on the Born Again album. And if you listen to the Born Again album, Diddy was looking for verses that might have been laying around and was never released commercially that Big had recorded. And I told Diddy that I had this verse for a long time. When Diddy wanted the verse, I said, you gotta give me back the money that I paid Big. You could have the verse. Because if you listen to the Born Again album, there's a song called Dangerous MCs. And I told Diddy, if I give you this verse, I need to control this record creatively. So I went and got one of my favorite producers, Knots the Ruler from VA. He gave me one of the craziest beats. Snoop, Mark Curry, myself, and Biggie is on the song.
It's June 4th, 1996, and Tupac releases the diss track Hit 'Em Up, which instantly became one of the most vengeful and ruthless diss tracks of all time. In the song, Tupac talks about having sexual relations with Biggie's wife, Faith Evans, and a picture of Tupac and Faith had already been floating around when Faith appeared on the original version of Tupac's Wonder Why They Call You Bitch.
Faith, my homegirl. Send a shout out to Faith. Hey, girl. Hey, and Bad Boy Records.
It's September 7th, 1996, and Tupac is shot in Las Vegas after the Mike Tyson fight.
Stewart with an MTV News special report. Rapper Tupac Shakur was shot in the chest late Saturday night in Las Vegas. He is in critical condition. The incident happened after Shakur and Death Row Records CEO Suge Knight had left the Tyson-Selden fight in Vegas and were reportedly on their way to a local nightclub when a white Cadillac pulled up alongside their BMW and opened fire. Shakur was hit multiple times in the chest. Suge Knight received a minor gunshot wound to the head. A hospital spokesperson told MTV News that Suge Knight was expected to be released late Sunday evening. While Tupac is in intensive care, he is expected to survive. As we went to press, no arrests had been made as of yet. This is the second time in less than 2 years that Tupac Shakur has been the victim of a shooting, the last time in November of 1994 in New York City. Again, Tupac Shakur shot in the chest in Las Vegas on Saturday night. We'll keep you posted with details. That's the news for now. Stay tuned for more news right here on MTV.
Unfortunately, 6 days later, Tupac would succumb to his injuries and pass away at 25 years old.
Hi, I'm Tabitha Soren, and this is The Week in Rock. Trouble-plagued rapper and actor Tupac Shakur is dead at the age of 25, about a week after sustaining 4 bullet wounds last Saturday night in Las Vegas. Shakur spent the weekend in the hospital on a respirator in critical condition. Reverend Jesse Jackson, members of the Nation of Islam, and fellow Death Row Records artist Hammer visited Shakur's bedside on Sunday when he had one of his lungs removed. Shakur's mother, Afeni, featured in his Dear Mama video, and other family members kept a vigil at his hospital room in the intensive care unit of University Medical Center in Las Vegas. Early in the week, doctors rated Tupac's chances of survival at 1 in 5, then said his chances had improved on Tuesday, and on Thursday declined to speculate on his prognosis at all.
It's November 5th, 1996, and Death Row releases Machiavelli the 7-Day Theory, which had some disses to Bad Boy.
I'm a bad boy killer. Jay-Z died too. Looking out for Mob Deep. Niggas when I find you. Weak motherfuckers don't deserve to breathe. How many niggas done to die for me? Yeah. Let's be honest, you a punk or you would see me with gloves. Remember that shit you said, the vibe about me being a thug? And you can tell the people you roll with whatever you want. But you and I know what's going on.
It's March 1st, 1997, and Biggie appears on the Wake Up Show, and Sway asks him about Tupac's death, and Biggie says he feels the pain of that more than anyone else, and it is a great loss, and he feels for Tupac's family, but he can't spend his time sitting there stressing over someone else, and during that time he was going through his own problems with his kids and his wife, and getting into a car accident 3 days after Tupac died. In the same interview, Biggie would go on to freestyle verses from his song Long Kiss Goodnight, which was perceived to be a subliminal diss to Tupac. Only problem was he was rapping it after Tupac had died and he was on the West Coast at the time. It's March 9th, 1997, and Biggie passes away in a drive-by shooting in LA.
Hi, I'm Serena Altschul with an MTV News Brief. The Los Angeles Police Department continues to investigate the murder of the notorious B.I.G., who died in a drive-by shooting early Sunday morning in Los Angeles. In the April issue of The Source magazine on newsstands now, Biggie Smalls talks about his fondness for L.A. He says, quote, "We used to ball out in Cali in the days. We still going out there. But the first thing people gonna think about is that situation, which has been blown up too much more than it was. They done made a personal beef between me and Tupac and Death Row into a coastal beef, East against West, and that's crazy. I never did nothing wrong to Tupac, to Faith, to Lil' Kim, to nobody." He adds that he'd like to quit rap, quote, "I really want to stop. If I was financially stable, I could." That's the news for now. We'll have more news later here on MTV.
Shortly after his death, Fat Joe says Biggie was trying to avoid any beef with the West Coast.
Okay, I think I've got Joe on the line. Fat Joe, hi.
Yeah, what's up, Lisa?
How you doing? Hanging in there.
I'm all right. Just been trying to get through. It's hectic.
No, I know it's very hectic.
Yeah, just want to send my condolences out to Biggie Smalls' family and all that. And you know he's gonna be missed. Everybody loves him. And you know I know Biggie real good. And you know just to let everybody know he was really trying to avoid any beef. You know what I mean? And everybody was like East Coast, West Coast. Even me, I was hyped before Tupac even died. And I was like, you know, yo, Big, what's up with them? You know, they keep disrespecting you. And he kept like, yo, Joe, let's just get money.
It's March 25th, 1997, and Bad Boy releases Life After Death with the song Long Kiss Goodnight.
Motherfuckers mad cause I'm blue, niggas envious. Too many niggas on my shit strenuous. When my men bust, you just move with such stamina. Slugs missed ya, I ain't mad at ya. We ain't mad at ya. Blood rushing, concussions ain't nothing. Catch cases, come out frontin', smoking something. I'm flaming gas, aiming that. Maniacs put my name in rap. What the game is that? Like they hustle backwards. I smoke backwards and Dutchies. You can't touch me. Try to rush me. Slugs go touchy. You're bleeding lovely with your spirit above me or beneath me. Your whole life you live sneaky. Now you rest eternally sleepy. You burn when you creep me. Rest where the worms in the weak beat. Slug hit your chest, tap your spine. Flatline, heard the grapevine. You got 4 times. Damn, that 3 to 9 you up for real though. Swing still slow. Ask for remorse and feel no.
What this song showed was Biggie and Bad Boy had no problem releasing diss songs after Tupac's death. It's late 1997. Fat Joe ends up signing with Atlantic Records and creates Terror Squad Productions. Joe had left Relativity Records after being disappointed with how they handled his last project. Joe ends up striking a $10 million deal to sign his own artists and put them out under Terror Squad Productions. It's September 1st, 1998, and Fat Joe releases his Don Cartagena album. This is one of his biggest albums to date and saw the heavy influence and feature of Big Pun. Don Cartagena features songs like John Blaze with Nas, Big Pun, Jadakiss, and Raekwon. and the titled song Don Cartagena with Puff Daddy. It's December 7th, 1999, and Bad Boy releases the posthumous Biggie album Born Again. To the disappointment of many fans, it featured remixes to other known songs and some things people have heard on the mixtape circuit. The critics stated Diddy did the best he could with what material existed from Biggie and had some great features and production on it, but it mainly lacked the star of the show, Biggie. It's December 20th, 2005, and Bad Boy releases Duets, the final chapter, pretty much letting the fans know we don't have any more Biggie vocals. It was a remix album featuring new collaborations and production from anyone that had some significance in the early to mid 2000s. It was a way to bring Biggie into the new era, but it faced a lot of criticism from fans as they questioned some of the features that were chosen, stating Biggie would never work with some of these artists. In the end, it just left fans wishing Biggie was still alive to give the people new music, but again, they were using what was available. It's July 22nd, 2008, and Fat Joe does an interview with Cypher Sounds and Rosenberg and says he recorded 3 songs with Biggie for their album.
People don't know that me and Biggie was supposed to be the original twins. Me and Biggie was gonna be the original twins. Puffy was trying to sign me to Bad Boy. Biggie was telling Puffy to sign me to Bad Boy so me and him could do like a twins album. Or Joe, we recorded like 3 songs.
No.
Real shit.
Where the song? Where the fuck is the
I don't
song?
know. Never came out.
It's August 4th, 2008, and Diddy does an interview with Cypher Sounds and Rosenberg and is asked about the Fat Joe and Biggie album.
He told us a story about him and Big talking about doing twins, like, and them doing a record. And he said they actually did a few records together.
Yeah.
Do you have any recollection of this?
I remember them having conversations. I even think
Were you gonna sign Fat Joe?
Yeah. I remember him and Big, you know, they had a great relationship, and I remember them. They were talking about doing some sort of single together. I don't know if it was all the way an album, but I remember that is true.
It's August 5th, 2013, and Fat Joe does an interview with The Breakfast Club and says the Biggie album had 4 songs recorded.
Did you ever do a record with Biggie? That was a big rumor at one time that there was
Me
a
and
record.
Biggie was doing an album together when he had beef with Tupac and all of them. So Biggie was like, yo, this how I blew up. So he stepped to me, right? I had left Relativity. He was like, yo, check this out. You the Puerto Rican Don, and I'm the Black Don, and we could just and Puffy was like, yo, if you want to do it, Big, let's do it. So we actually recorded like 4 songs.
I heard, where's those records? We never heard of
no clue. And look, nobody in hip hop want to hear that now.
Right.
He probably.
I think I remember the Think Big joint.
Ham, Pete, like, you know, so.
The Think Big joint, right?
Biggie, they never came out.
Never came out. It was 4 records. We were trying to get them.
We was doing them, right? So we was in the studio every day, but this is when the divide and conquer comes in. Good old Craig Cowman heard that me and Biggie doing that, and he steps to me and be like, yo, check this out. I want to give you your own record label. You know, this is how the industry works. You know what I'm saying? So I go to Puff and I say, yo, these dudes offer me I tell you the truth, I didn't even deserve it. I had FloJo for relative. I was like, but being that, you know how the industry is, they heard the hype. Yo, if Biggie's talking about making an album with this kid, let me intercept, and this guy must be the next guy.
Right.
Which he was right, but he was right.
all right.
Millions of records later, he was very right.
All right.
He stepped to me and gave me my own label with Crazy M's. Like, I was like, yo, and then I stepped to Puff, and I was like, yo, Puff, look. Puff was like, nah, he ain't I said, yo, here's the contract. Puff said, well, go get it, Playboy, because I ain't giving you nothing like that.
Right.
Sure. I left, and that's how I became an executive.
We had those records, man. We tried to steal those records. We tried to get in the studio during those times to get those records.
You and
me and Clue? Absolutely. We could never get those records.
It's March 3rd, 2016, and Fat Joe does an interview with Rap Radar where he mentions the Biggie album.
My favorite joint, Don Cartagena, you and Puff, man. Adios to Mañana, that's like my favorite Fat Joe record.
You know, that was me and Pun, and Pun was really, really mad at me when I had put Puff on there.
Really?
Yeah, because he felt like, and he might have been right now that I look at it years later, anything Puff was doing was blowing. But at that time, Pun had just blew up, and we had that energy together where he was like, we could have strengthened ourselves and just really blew that bitch up. But what happened with Puff, Puff turned around and he blocked the record I had with Biggie. He was like, you know, me and Big was going in to do this record, and Puff was like, yo, Playboy, he's number 2, 3, number 1, yo, this and this. And I was like, yo, my nigga, let me tell you something, bro. I was still really very, very street. I was like, yo, my nigga, something got to give. And Biggie's standing there like, telling Puff, like, yo, Puff, yo, you know, like, this Joe
This
crack,
is still
my
Joe.
nigga.
This is still Joe.
Nah, and I'm like, yo, my nigga, something got to give, bro. Like, something got to give. Like, there's no way. He was like, I'll get on the song. Whatever your song is, I'll do it. And it was Puff Daddy was the biggest nigga heard.
Right.
So I fucking we take Puff.
That song the video was great too, man.
It's February 23rd, 2018, and Fat Joe does an interview with Real 92.3 and reveals Biggie and him recorded 4 songs in 1996.
Me and Biggie was making an album. It was at the prime time of
So this is like 96.
Yeah, man, and it was not good. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So we went in there, we was rapping, and then it was just too much, and it was like, you know, it turned into that. You know what I'm saying? Like we was rapping, we was going hard, and everybody assumed it was this and Tupac. You know what I'm saying? So we was like, nah, that ain't no good. You know
How many records did you guys do?
We did like four records. You know what I'm saying?
Do they still exist? Like, is this?
Hell no, man.
Is this something
it wasn't
like
no good to
somebody has a
begin
tape?
with. Yeah,
Like
it was like
somebody has a master
It was
tape somewhere?
bad to begin with. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, because really me, I had no beef with Tupac. So
Right.
I'm just doing my like.
You just rapping.
I'm dissing niggas in the Bronx, and it sounded like
you
it.
dissing Pac.
You know what I mean? So I'm dissing niggas in the Bronx, niggas around my hood. I'm going hard, and then you know immediately when you press play, it's
You're like, oh, we already know what it is because the current
we
climate.
dissing, and then you know we was like, nah, this ain't good. Because I didn't have no beef with Tupac.
Back then, obviously, Biggie was incredible, and we all knew he was one of the hottest MCs. But like, you know, we look back, it's 2018, and he's on the Mount Rushmore of hip hop. When you go in the studio in '96 to record records for a Fat Joe Biggie album, were you like intimidated at all? Did
Big time.
Pick your
I wasn't as
pen
good as
game up?
Biggie. I wasn't nowhere as good as him. I wasn't as good as Big Al. I wasn't as good as Big Pun. I'm just keeping it real with you. These are all legends that's like, forget about it. So I didn't even understand how Biggie asked me, let's do the album. So I didn't even understand like why he even thought I was on the level. He was like, yo, you're going to be the Spanish Don, I'm the Black Don, and we're going to do this. So I wasn't nowhere near as good as Biggie Small. He probably saw 20 years from now. He probably said, yo, Fat Joe going to be big.
It's September 2018, and Fat Joe does an interview with Vlad TV about the Biggie album. Joe says they recorded 4 songs together, and Diddy was the producer. Joe says he was going to sign to Diddy so they could do the album together. He also mentions D-Dot and Stevie J and the Hitmen as being contributors. Joe says, let's not listen to the songs because people will get upset because they were dissing people, and he was alluding to that being Tupac. It's May 15th, 2020, and Fat Joe is on Instagram Live with B-Dot and plays an intro to one of the songs from the Fat Joe and Biggie album.
So this is Fat Joe Hitman produced the record?
No, we was doing the album together, me and Notorious B.I.G. I say it all the time. People might think I'm lying. Puff Daddy was a tyrant, a dictator. He wouldn't let nobody take the music out the studio but him. Out of the grace of God, D-Dot hit me this morning and said, I've been looking for this for years. I finally found it, and sent me a snippet of one of the songs of Fat Joe and Notorious B.I.G. But we still need the verses. All I can play is what he sent me, the intro. Press play from the top again.
Wow.
I never lie. You can hear that. Big Papa. So he sent me an intro.
Wow.
We still need the song. All the lyrics.
It doesn't matter. Yo. We can't really hear it, but still, the vibe is there. Who produced it?
I think Derek D.Dot, Angeletti, but we did a couple of songs. We was doing an album together. He was like, yo, you the Puerto Rican Don, I'm the Black Don. We're gonna do it together. And then we was in the studio. And I ain't gonna lie to you, what happened was, cause sometimes I say shit and I start thinking it's a lie.
because I don't got the proof. I'm like,
Right.
that really happened to me, or was you just lying? But this morning I woke up, LV sent me and said, yo, D-Dot told me to tell you he finally found it. They sent me a snippet. Yeah, so, and
that's
I
like a
never
gold
heard it
bar.
all these years later. And then when Tupac died, it was like, yo, Playboy, that can't exist no more, because it would be disrespect. You know what I mean? Hey, man, it's proof is out there. And for me, it was big because, I was still on my second album. I shot you with LL, but I was just at, I wasn't really ready for Biggie. Biggie was, he probably would have smashed me crazy on that shit. The fact that he thought, yo, Joe Crack is worthy enough to do an album with me was even crazy to me. Like, I was like, oh, shit. Like, sometimes you don't even know your own worth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your own self-worth.
Do you remember, like, listening to that beat, do any of your rhymes come to mind? Do you remember anything from that?
I know we rather refrain from the verses and all that because it was very disrespectful. Maybe that's why D-Dot just sent the intro. It was bad. Like, it was bad. Wow. Yo, Crack, we going back. Let's go back. Like, and at that time, I was beyond wild for the night. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was the Fat Joe with the one eye twitching at all times. It was like thirsty for any type of drama or whatever.
Right.
With that, in my second album, I had a skit where I was talking Spanish, and quieren be feo conmigo. So Big was like, yo, that's how I want the intro to be. You talking that Spanish shit going crazy. I'm talking all type of shit in there. Like, we'll give it to anybody, nigga. We let them hammers go in Spanish.
Yeah. Wow. You gotta send the MP4 for that, Joe.
Huh?
You gotta send the MP3 to MP4 of that snippet. We gotta get that to the world.
All right, we'll get it.
When it comes to this situation, it is a lot more extensive than one would imagine, so I had to split the video in two pieces. So make sure you tune in to part 2, where we uncover the biggest surprise about this whole situation. So y'all let me know what y'all think about this, man. Put your thoughts down in the comments and make sure you like and subscribe and stay connected with Panda Chop Chronicles. Peace!